All right, so first thing we're going to go over is the steps that we're going to go through when we're looking to add or subtract rationals where we do have to factor. So this is like the biggest type of problem that we could see. So looking at those step-by-step instructions, step number 1 is going to be factor, and we're just looking to factor the denominator. So step 1 is factor the denominator. And by factor the denominator, factoring the denominator of both fractions. From there, once it's fully factored, we want to find a common denominator. That's the least common multiple. From there, we want to make both fractions share the common denominator. And that's where we have to, if one fraction has it, then the other one doesn't, then we have to multiply the other fraction numerator and denominator. So we want to make both fractions have the common denominator. By multiplying. After that, we want to add or subtract the numerator. And we want to keep the denominator the same. And then our last step would be to multiply and combine like terms in the numerator. So, the numerator. Let's go ahead and look at a problem where we're going to go through all these steps. We'll factor the denominator, find a common denominator, make both fractions share that denominator, then add or subtract the numerator, keep the denominator, multiply, and simplify essentially. So let's go ahead and do this. So let me pull up a problem that I would suggest copying down. And that problem is going to be 8 divided by 6m plus 9. And we're going to add that to 13 over 15m plus 30. So we'll start off with a basic. Now, our first step is to factor the denominator. So both of these factoring, we're just going to take out the greatest common factor. So we'll start by doing that. And when we do that, we're given 8 over 6 and 9 have a 3 in common. When I divide out a 3, I'm left with 2m plus 3. And then for the other one, I have 13 in my numerator. 15 and 30 both have 15 in common, so I can take a 15 out, and I'm left with m plus 2. Now from here, I want to find a common denominator. Well, looking at this, they don't have anything in common. So this one on the left has 2m plus 3. The one on the right doesn't. So I need to make it have 2m plus 3 by multiplying in the numerator and the denominator. Now, if I look at the fraction on the right, it has m plus 2. The fraction on the left does not. So I'm going to have to multiply this by m plus 2. So I've taken care of my factors. My common denominator is going to have 2m plus 3 and m plus 2. We've made that happen. However, we still have these two numbers. We have a 15 and a 3. So we want to think, well, what's the least common multiple between them? What's the smallest number that both of these numbers can multiply to? And they can actually both multiply to 15. 15 times 1 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. So we can have 15 as the least common multiple of those two numbers. Well, the one on the right already has 15. The one on the left, in order to make 3 become 15, I have to multiply by 5. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to multiply this by 5. So now from here, I want to add the numerator, and then I will go through by multiplying and combining like terms. So I would have 5 times 8 times m plus 2. And I'm going to add that, because I am adding, to 13 times 2m plus 3. Now that I've added, I've got a common denominator. I'm just going to multiply and combine like terms. So 5 times 8 is 40. And then I'm going to distribute that in. And I'm going to distribute in the 13. So I'm going to multiply this in, then I will combine any like terms to get to my final answer. So I would get 40m plus 80 plus 26m squared, 26m plus 13 times 3 is going to give me 39. And that's all over 15 times 2m plus 3 times m plus 2, my common denominator. So now I want to go through and combine any like terms. So I have 2 m terms that I'll put together and 2 constant terms that I'll put together. So 40 plus 26 is going to give me 66m. 80 plus 39 is going to give me 119. And that's going to be over that common denominator, least common multiple. And that would be my final answer. So I'm going to go through one that has some more difficult factoring, but I'm going to do that in a separate video so it's not so long. So if you're feeling good with this and you want to take a look at the written notes, go ahead. If you want to see another one worked out with some more difficult factoring, go ahead and click on the next video.